Shows the back edge now pushing across Columbia. 76 here, it is 69 in Columbia, and there's that rooftop Federico sky camera. Torrential downpours as we look towards the west. That was preceded by a shelf cloud out in Hidden Valley. Pretty much the same story, heavy downpours. Herman Hill, the rain is winding down. There's that shelf cloud right now over the Mississippi River. 76 degrees, winds north-northwest at 13. And the pressure is steady. So for the next couple of hours, we'll see showers and thunderstorms, some containing some small hail, gusty winds, and dangerous lightning. Temperatures will fall into the 70s and then rebound back into the 80s later on this afternoon. Dan?
John, thank you very much. Yeah, here is a look at that blinding rain that's going on right now. This is the intersection, the interchange of Interstate 270 and 44. You can see the torrential downpours there. If you don't have to travel for a while, at least for the next 45 minutes to an hour or so, if you can pull over perhaps, that would be recommended, but just be extra careful. Make sure your headlights are on while this rain is coming down. We'll keep an eye on the roads for you throughout the hour. This is a big weekend for a lot of outdoor activities, including baseball. The Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals will be hooking up in another I-70 battle, but this time they're helping our neighbors down I-44. Chris Higgins shows us how the Cardinals and Royals are teaming up to raise money for the children impacted by the deadly Joplin tornado.
Yeah, it is always a big deal when the Cardinals take on the Royals, that big cross-state rivalry, that I-70 rivalry that goes all the way back to the World Series back in the 80s. Well, this time, there's something extra meaningful about the ball games that are going to be played out here at Busch Stadium on the field behind us. And that's because both the Cardinals and the Royals are teaming up. They're joining forces to help raise money for the children impacted by the deadly tornado down in Joplin in late May. During the series, which begins tonight, fans are going to have the opportunity to contribute to those efforts by purchasing commemorative patches, as well as going online and bidding on game-used and autographed items in a very special auction. Now, some of those items include some great stuff, including a Teams Unite for Joplin baseball, game-used bases and lineup cards, and then how about this cool once-in-a-lifetime fan experience? Throwing out the first pitch at a ball game. You can auction that off, or they're auctioning that off. You can make a bid on it. Just something great you can do. Now, the effort was announced earlier in the month following the devastating tornadoes in Joplin. A couple of the Cardinals players actually traveled all the way down to Joplin to see it firsthand. Now, there are still tickets available as of last check, but the best thing to do is check with the ticket office or go to their website, stlcardinals.com, and see if you can pick up tickets there. All the money goes to Cardinals Care, then heads down south to help the kids in Joplin. Reporting outside Busch Stadium, Chris Higgins, News 11.
And from downtown St. Louis to Forest Park, plenty of places in between. A lot of people will be heading out on the town this weekend. And a warning from police to lock up your possessions to keep them protected. St. Louis City Police Department want to get the word out to remind drivers about the threat of car break-ins. Now, the warning, they say, is not in reaction to an increase in break-ins, but they just want people to be aware of the problems that have occurred in the past and be safe while out this summer. They suggest keeping possessions out of sight, locking them in your trunk. A St. Louis-based healthcare organization says it wants to improve the health of its employees and set an example, so smokers need not apply. SSM Healthcare will begin a tobacco-free hiring policy in July. Applicants at the 7 SSM hospitals in the St. Louis area will be asked whether they have used tobacco in the last 6 months. Anyone who answers yes will be eliminated from consideration for a job. Well, the heroin problem growing with teenagers in the St. Louis area. One group in the Metro East taking to the streets now to get out the message about the dangers of heroin. News 11's Kim Hudson has more now about their mission.
We've been out here all morning talking about this rally. We had 2 young people who came out and spoke to us. One young woman actually saw us on television at home first and then came out and sought out our live truck. Well, there was a young man. He had the story of a near miss. One of his friends went missing for a while after using heroin. A young woman, she was not as lucky. Her boyfriend